Hey, welcome back to the weekly writing update. I feel kind of out of it. I haven't recorded in like 2 weeks. I guess that is a fair amount of time when you're used to recording every week for 21. Here, I wrote it down somewhere. 22 weeks in a row. Last week was the first week I missed, so it's kind of wild. First things first, I did just say weekly writing update. I've decided to refocus in this channel, and I was splitting my time between reading and writing. I really enjoy talking about reading, but it was kind of holding me back a little bit in that I want to use this channel for what it was intended for, and that is writing. Lately I've been finding that talking about reading was putting a little bit of strain on my creation of the videos, and also just my enjoyment of reading as a hobby as a whole. It's kind of like workifying something that is a hobby for me and something that I really enjoy doing in my off time. And that's kind of the last thing that I need to do, is making more work out of something than I need it to be. It's also made reading feel kind of like a chore, which the last thing I need in my life is more chores right now. So just a refocus is kind of in line with what I need. Kind of refocusing here, and this will just be writing updates and some other stuff related to that. So with that, from here on, you're gonna see more focused content out of this channel from a writing perspective. I really started this channel back in June to do two things. One, to provide myself with accountability and motivation to keep on writing, and two, to document the novel writing process. So far, I feel that I have done those things, but I haven't been focused on those things. I've kind of done that in the background and stuff like that. I've enjoyed making the videos that I've made about reading, and I really enjoy the, where to start reading sci-fi, the book reviews, even just examining parts of books that I've read and the ones that I'm really enjoying. But it's making me sit there and read with the thought of, what am I gonna say about this? And I'd rather just read just for the joy of it. I'm not saying that the reading part will go away forever. It's just gonna go to the back burner for now. You're not gonna see any reading updates within weekly updates. So just a lot more focused on the writing bit. I've said focused so many times already in this. I'm gonna stop now, probably not. So I'm gonna be a lot more structured about the way that I'm talking about writing. You might find that reading makes its way into the conversation, because it's not something, I'm not stopping reading. I've been reading more, actually. It's just not going to be a main part of the videos, and there probably won't be any major videos on reading or like where to start reading, any kind of genres, anything like that, for the foreseeable future. I am sorry if that's what you're here for, if you've enjoyed the reading content. I know that that's kind of probably something that some people are looking forward to and they don't care about the writing. If that is you, I genuinely appreciate that you've been here watching any of the other reading content. It may come back at some point, but I can't promise anything. So if the writing part doesn't appeal to you, I totally understand. I'm sad to see anyone go, but I would understand. But for now, I really want to focus on the craft of writing and editing novels. I'll also probably continue to do some sort of longer form or scripted videos like I've been doing. They'll just probably center around writing more. There might be some reading thrown in there, but I'm anticipating that it'll be around the writing, the editing, the first draft process, all of that kind of stuff, rather than like the genre or the exploration or review type of content on books that are already published. I'm really excited for this shift, and I really hope that you'll come along with me on it. I think that this is going to really get down into the weeds of writing and really, I want to say it again, refocus the channel on its original intent, and that makes me really excited. After 22 weekly videos, I think that this is going to provide a refresh to what these update videos are about, really provide better and more detail on what the novel is. I'm going to try and be a little bit more open about the specifics of what I'm editing and what I'm doing, mainly because, I don't expect everyone to see this novel. I don't expect anyone to see it, frankly. But if it does, this isn't going to provide like major spoilers or anything. It'll just be a very interesting, I hope, window into the novel editing and writing process that will have some more clarity and some more detail to it. I keep saying that in my old videos about like, oh, hopefully this will provide you with any of that. I look back on those videos and I kind of see what I'm talking about in the writing update parts, and it's a lot of vague talk about what I was doing. That's great, that's what they were there for, but now I hope that they'll be a little bit more detailed and a little bit more, entertaining and hopefully educational. So to close out the update part of this, I really want to explore writing in a more focused way and in a way that will hopefully provide something to someone out there that maybe wants to write. To be clear, I'm still that someone that wants to write. If I've figured out this much, then the rest of it's just like huge. It's really just coming alongside and documenting all of that so that there can be somewhere that you can go to see, oh, this is how one person's doing it, and come alongside and write with me. So with all that said, let's get into the weekly writing update. And we have a fair amount to talk about because I did miss a week. Kind of wonder what might have made me make this shift into the writing aspect. And I had to kind of think, oh, is this the best use of my time right now? I don't know, maybe, but it didn't feel like it. So some things happened in the past few weeks. I got some editing done. That's 1. 2, I did not get as much editing done as I thought I would. 3, I really beat myself up about that. 4, I had a bit of a pity party about that. 5, I got sick and got even less done. And 6, as of like 2 days ago, I finally jumped back in fully. Now, I broke all those into steps because I felt like those were very important. I just kind of hit a burnout wall on the novel. It's not because I'm running into problems with it. It's because editing is just becoming a lot of work. What I'm finding is that I had like 5 chapters that I thought I still think they're very good, but then I kind of have a 2-chapter section where there's just like continuity error after continuity error because I was shifting the storyline. And then I got to chapter 7, which, let's see, I want to see how many pages it was, because it's a long chapter in comparison to the others. It's not like crazy long. Chapter 7 was 10 pages. So like I said, not crazy long, but longer than some of the others. Chapter 7, I felt was the best chapter yet, but the problem is it doesn't line up with a lot of what happened in the previous 6 chapters. So it's just a decision point. Do I now change chapter 7, which I really like, or do I go back and change chapters 1 through 6, and adding on top of that, I've also added another chapter. So chapters 1 through 7, and now the chapter 7 needs to become chapter 8. It's a whole jumbled mess. That's what kind of led me to this, like, oh, I'm kind of burning out, whatever you want to call it. But it's a lot, and it's a lot to think about. So it just took a lot out of me. So I'm figuring it out now, and I'm confident that I'll get through it. But I did want to share that whole thing, because I'm sure that that's going to happen to some other people out there. And in the past, this would have been the thing that made me just stop down and abandon this novel completely. And I don't want that to happen this time. So that's what these videos are for. These are for me to come up and say, hey, like, here's what's happening. I need to fix it, and I'm going to. So yeah, it's been a challenging couple weeks, but I think this reshifting of things will help. So let's talk about some specifics here, he says, and then looks away from the camera. Okay, so in the past couple weeks, I've gotten chapter 5, 6, and 7 edited. Chapter 5 notes, let's take a look. Okay, so I've got 5 notes here. I have a character that I need to speak with some more confidence. So I had some decent dialogue, but I just want them to be a little bit better with confidence. As of now, they're just kind of like quiet. They're not exactly how I envisioned this character being. They also were just a little bit more lighthearted than I think they would be in this particular set of circumstances. So now I just want to both inject him with some more confidence and kind of bring him down to earth a little bit. I think he was a little bit jokey in this chapter. I had 2 characters that I cut later on in the book that I just really love their interaction with our main character here. So I need to make a decision on them. I also had a note here that I need to introduce some distrust that I don't really like. Oh no, I'm saying that I did introduce some distrust here that I didn't really like. It just didn't like work for me as I was reading it back. So I either need to omit it or make more use of it. So either take it out completely or really lean in. And I just need to make a choice on that. I did say this chapter feels like the first place where maybe some major rewrites need to happen. Major being like, I had some incontinuity that I want to, I don't know if I want to use that word. I had some issues that I want to address here that I think are going to take a fair amount of rewriting, not just like a sentence or two. Chapter 6 notes. I had 8 on this one. So this was our introduction of Volition, our kind of second main character. I remember really liking her introduction when I first wrote it, and rereading it, I have a note that it can be much stronger. So I think my voicing there can be stronger and more description, more reason for some of her character traits, stuff like that. I have a first mention of kind of a big plot point that I need to kind of expand here so that I have some foundation for later on. Some conjecture that I don't need, or I can do a little bit more showing instead of telling. A little bit of lacking direction on one page, kind of if you read it in a silo. So a little bit of, I think this chapter just had some like conjecture and some bad prose that I know I'm better than. So just a little bit of rewriting. Something I liked in this chapter is I had some good hints about what's to come. So I put in some stuff that still works in this chapter, and that's good news. Chapter 7. Wow, this was a long one. So we had 17 notes on this one. Okay, the main one is I have a character who's kind of like a side character that I'm just completely changing his job title. Sorry, change your job title in the middle of your job. It's just not working. So I'm going to change what he does. That means I'm kind of changing him into a character that I already had. So I'm kind of mixing two characters. So that's just going to require a lot of time and a lot of effort. Definitely worth it, time and effort. Just a little bit of like, we gotta figure this out. You know, I need to add some detail. I had a couple things that just didn't work. Could work, it just needs some better continuity to it. Oh, it's a less than a sentence of a note, but a pretty big one. So in my story, there is, you kind of have soldiers and people within the Empire have HUDs. They have HUDs that are built into their own vision. The soldiers can communicate with these HUDs very efficiently because they're just trained to do that. I developed that somewhere like near the end of the book, and I just need to retroactively put that into the rest. So this is kind of the first instance where I was like, oh, need to fix that. A lot of that is what I'm finding is I developed stuff way later on in the book that I need to just go back and make it all work throughout the whole book. Last major thing on chapter 7, I have kind of a big like lore drop in chapter 7 that just doesn't work anymore. And it's not just completely broken, but it's something that I need to kind of rewrite almost completely. I know if I'm saying I need to rewrite it almost completely, it sounds broken. It's really not. It's just there's like a little thing that I'm just like, like it kind of works, but it works almost, it's just enough to where I just need to rewrite it using the bones of that. So chapter 5, 6, 7 all need some fairly major rewrites, but that's okay. We'll get to it. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just going in and I'm reading everything in print version, and then I'm kind of handwriting some notes in. And then what that's going to allow me to do is go back through and grab all those notes from the chapters and compare, contrast, put it into a spreadsheet and really figure out what changes need to happen in what order and where they need to go into the books. I'm pulling it all into a book. That's been really good, but just frankly challenging. And that's why I just had to, I think I took off almost a week. Let's see how long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A week exactly. I didn't touch anything. So there you have it. That is our update for now. Next week I will be back with probably chapter 8, 9, 10. I hope they're not too, I can't remember how long they are, so that might be a little bit ambitious. From a percentage standpoint, we are at about 15%. Here's how percentages are gonna work for now. I'm going to give a percentage of what we have edited in manuscript editing. Once we get to 100, then we will kind of backtrack and see where that puts us, and I'll be able to give a percentage on the second draft as a whole. So 15% of manuscript is edited. That's it for this week. Thanks so much for stopping by, really appreciate it. Look forward to kind of some more writing focused videos and writing updates in the future. We'll see you next time, bye.